Hello everyone and a happy new year from everyone at Daily Record Sport. Welcome to the first game on of 2026. My name is Gavin and I'm delighted to say I'm joined this week by Fraser Wilson.
Happy New Year, Gav.
Happy New Year to you. There's so much to look forward to in 2026, Fraser. In Scottish sport, we've got an enthralling Premiership title race, which is just hotting up by the week. Scotland back at World Cup this year. How does that sound?
Oh, that sounds superb. Nothing better.
And of course, we've got the Commonwealth Games to look forward to as well.
Yes.
Glasgow, hosting again. So, Fraser's still nursing his Hogmanay hangover, but that's nothing.
Hang on a minute. I was a good boy. I was a good
boy.
Wrapped up in bed by 2:30 in the morning, and I remember everything.
2:30 in the morning?
I'm too old for that daftness now, Gav. I was absolutely fine. You're sick. But you, on the other hand?
I'm fine. I'm fresh as a daisy. But Wilfried Nancy, he's got a bit of a headache, but it's nothing to do with the excess of Hogmanay. It's more to do with 5 defeats in 7 games. So
his ass was on fire before, but now I think his hair is over. I think he's in danger of just going up in flames.
Yeah. He's definitely feeling the pressure after that defeat to Motherwell, and of course that comes ahead of Saturday's mouth-watering game against Rangers. So I think that's where we'll kick off. Just a reminder of the format. We'll race through questions from across the sporting spectrum. We've got 2 minutes to debate them before the whistle sounds. So we'll kick off there, Fraser, with Saturday's game and Wilfried Nancy. Do you think it'll be the end for him if he loses to Rangers on Saturday at Parkhead?
I sat at Firth Park media room after the game on Tuesday night, a game where he'd been properly schooled by Jens Bertolascu and his team had been schooled by Motherwell. It was glaring. And he didn't seem to be grasping the enormity of this game. No matter how well Celtic were doing, what the form was going into this game. I mean, it's massive, and he didn't say it was going to define his Celtic career, but I mean, I think he has to win. He has to win to slow the groundswell of opinion against him at the moment that he's already been caught in the wrong movie, because I think a defeat at home to Rangers, with the way the fans are at the moment, after losing 5 of his 7 games in charge, I just think that could be curtains.
Do you not get the feeling that, I mean, we're saying, a win or, a defeat might cost him, that might be the end, but do you think a victory would really change that much?
No,
anyway?
Slow it. That's what I'm saying. Just slow it.
Yeah,
it would give them something to grab onto. Because it'd be a great result if they can go and beat Rangers tomorrow.
How great? What great result? I mean, this
any old firm. Not great. I mean, they're such standalone fixtures. All that daftness that is involved with it is daftness.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I get what you mean, but it almost shows, how far Celtic have fallen, though, that they're now going into a game like this at home to Rangers, worrying. I mean, they're genuinely worrying about a Rangers team we have already described this season as being arguably the worst ever. Yeah. Certainly in top flight.
Well, Rangers have got the momentum. They're nowhere near as bad as what they were before.
They're not.
Square players and square holes, for want of a better expression. So look, Celtic, Nancy has brought on all his own problems with this ridiculous system. Well, sorry, not ridiculous, but this system that at the moment isn't fit for purpose, because he's not got the players to play it. He's confused good players. They're looking bang average at best because they don't understand the system. They're wide open at the back. We've covered this a million times. I mean, they're gift-wrapping goals and Christmas is long gone. Rangers will be smelling blood, and it could be Nancy's.
Okay. Now, Hearts go in to the new year, top of the table, the first time for them since 91, the first time a non-Old Firm team since 94, I think, Aberdeen 94.
Yes. Is it that?
I think so. I think Aberdeen 94, 93-94 season.
Right.
If I'm wrong, someone will probably put it in the comments.
Was the Burley's Hearts in 2000?
Oh, no, not New Year. Not New Year, no.
Okay.
No. But anyway, they are top of the league.
Yeah.
Celtic and Rangers, of course. Rangers 6 points behind, Celtic 3 points back. Who do you think they will be seeing is their biggest threat out of the two?
Ask me at 3 p.m. on Saturday at full-time Parkhead. No, right now, momentum is everything in football, so I think you've got to say Rangers. They've only lost 1 game under Danny Rowe. You're right. I mean, they're miles away from being the final, the end product, but they've got momentum on the side. They're winning games.
Yeah.
Is pragmatic. Is making sure they're hard to beat. They're not conceding goals. The complete opposite of Celtic.
Yeah, that's it. They're digging out results. They are churning out results.
And that's what Celtic aren't doing, right? So they've got the momentum. They could actually go above Celtic while winning on Saturday, which is if you'd said that a couple of months ago,
you know, I remember at the end of September, I mean, we're not even talking sort of 2 or 3 games in, the end of September, I remember writing a piece for the Record Sport website saying that if I think Aberdeen had 2 chances, and if they'd won one of those games, or they needed maybe 4 points from the 2 games, Rangers would have gone bottom ahead of a game to Livingston.
I remember that.
And it was the last weekend in September. I mean, it
says a lot about this Premiership, which
it
has
does.
been a
It's
box of
great.
frogs,
It's
an absolute box of frogs this
absolutely
season,
brilliant. But to think now, and I think that's where the pressure is off Rangers. I do think they'll want to go and make a statement and win, but they should have been going into this game with Celtic having the chance to completely finish them.
Yeah.
But I mean, even if they lost the game, because of the form of Celtic, you know, you wouldn't completely rule them out. You know, making up that ground, of course, you know, they want to win it. But
I think the fans are written off this season, Rangers fans, understandably. So that now works in their favour, that maybe the intensity isn't quite what it was. The fans are happy. They're just gradually getting themselves back into this title race, which they definitely are.
Yeah.
And maybe there's not quite as much pressure as what it would normally be on Rangers to go and win the title.
Yeah.
And they can just use that, you know, that kind of peace and calm to just take over at the top. But I still think come the end of January, we'll have a much better idea. We'll see where they're all sitting. We'll see who's at the best transfer window. And then if you ask me then I'll give you a better prediction. But right now, Hearts will definitely see Rangers as a bigger threat.
Yeah.
Right. Let me ask you one. Sticking with Hearts.
Okay.
They are still top. They're 3 points clear of Celtic.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a huge January ahead of them, but they play Livingston at home tomorrow after knowing what's happened with the outcome of the Old Firm.
Of course, yeah.
Are they simple this one? Are they on course? Will they end 4 decades of dominance of the Old Firm and win the title?
I'm going to say yes, because apart from anything else, what a story it would be. It's funny, I was looking at a statistic there, Fraser, before we come in. I don't know where they got it from. And said that the chances of winning the title this season, Premiership, Celtic at 55%, which I'm slightly surprised about, given current form, if Wilfried Nancy stays in charge. Rangers only an 11% chance. You know, which again is a bit of a surprise considering what you've said, momentum, and Hearts 34% chance, first title since 1960. I think they will. It was interesting reading Scott McDermott's piece with Gary Mackay in the Daily Record there, though, if you read it, about 1986, blowing the title on the last day, how they're almost scared to believe because of what happened that day. I mean, what an unbelievable collapse. He's seen 40 years on. He has still never got over it. Fans of an older generation will probably be thinking the same thing. And just because any team outside of the Old Firm that has challenged in the last 40 years, it's always ended in failure.
Yeah.
Maybe not quite the way it did in 1986. But it just seems like this season could be a season where something out of the ordinary happens. We've never seen the Old Firm as bad at the same time. I think certainly not in my lifetime. I don't know if ever the two of them have been so bad. And I just think if you throw in, you know, the Tony Bloom factor at Tynecastle and Derek McInnes, who an unbelievable manager, you know, he's a, you know, in this league, he knows it so well. I just think if you put all of that together, I just think we could have a Leicester City.
It's funny, I did the same piece more or less with Gary in the Sunday Mail a couple of months ago, and he was saying all the same stuff, but he said the key thing was Derek McInnes and how important he is to knowing this league, how good his recruitment is, because I think you can go look down the years, no matter what club he's been at, Derek McInnes gets his recruitment spot on. He obviously has Tony Bloom's Jamestown Analytics to help him with that now. They've already made a start in this, they're the first top flight club to make a signing this window, so they're ahead of the game already, and they're key sorting out the maybe 1 week line they had it right back. Hearts will never, ever have a better chance of winning this title.
And that's the key. This is the chance. Anyway, Fraser, 2026, we welcomed in a new year, but I don't know, sometimes I think I've maybe been transported back a decade in Rangers' case and a few years in Celtic's case, because I've seen some fans saying Kyogo getting back to Celtic, struggling at Birmingham City, Alfredo Morelos flying high in Colombia, getting back to Rangers. Should they be turning the clock back rather than forward? Do you think either of those returns would be a good move
Certainly not Kyogo. I mean,
No.
Oh, he's a busted flush, isn't he?
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's funny when you talk about the two situations; they are very different. Kyogo left on a high and is going like this.
No, I thought Kyogo's was Red Stars already in the way.
He maybe
Celtic done
was on
so
the way.
well.
But Alfredo Morelos, he had gone down by the time
Yeah.
he left Rangers. A lot of talk. He down tools, but he's reinvigorated himself in South America.
Difficult because we're not getting to see much of Morelos. He's younger than
No.
Kyogo. His goal record in
scored
Colombia is
20
very
goals,
good.
Player of the Year in 2025. He's looking leaner.
A lot of baggage.
Yeah.
Bringing a lot of baggage with him. You've got to think there's guys in Europe that could do the same job, if not better, and younger. Morelos will be 30 this year. Kyogo, I think, is an absolute no. I mean, he scored one goal.
Yeah.
Two different clubs. I think he's played nearly 40 games for Rennes and Burnham. He scored one goal.
Is it just that he fitted that Ange Postecoglou style?
100%. Celtic absolutely wrung everything out of Kyogo and did brilliantly. And then got 10 million. What a brilliant piece of business with Celtic. Remember saying that?
Yeah.
10 million for Kyogo and got Jota back, a younger, better player for 6 or 7 million. That was incredible business by Celtic a year ago. So definitely not Kyogo. No chance out of that. I think it's finished. So Morelos, I don't know. I think.
And then there's talk of Josh Windass coming back now as well. Do they just throw in Ryan Kent as well, just getting the band back together?
Who's Nicky Law? Where's foddering him? Get the band back together.
Josh Windass.
Not a big fan. I know I said Jota at Celtic. That's different. He was younger. He's still got his best years ahead of him, hopefully, when he overcomes this ACL. And I think we do forget how damaging that's been for Celtic. Jota was just starting to get close to top gear again for Celtic. He damaged his ACL. He's been a humongous miss for them this season. Don't know. I think, again, Celtic's title hopes could depend on if he comes back for the last couple of months of the season or not.
I see Santos was saying 5 million. I think 5 million they're looking for Morelos, but when you think of 8 million for Chinmiti, I know we spoke off air about how the price tag is weighing heavily on him. But if you think 8 million for Chinmiti, if you were to go and spend 5 on Morelos, you don't think it would instantly improve? In a word, because I know
I've not seen him for the last couple of years. I've only seen his goal record, which you can't really argue with in the last season. No, I just think there's got to be younger, better versions in Europe. I mean, what's your recruitment department for? They must have a list of 10.
Yeah.
But then when they brought in Chinmiti for 8 million, would he trust that list?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Well, I mean, you spoke about Kyogo and you were very clear on not Kyogo, but what is the most important piece of business Celtic can do in this month's window? The reason I'm asking you about Kyogo is because I think it's obvious that a striker is probably. I mean,
there's two. I don't think any one is more important than the other. I think they need a central defender in that's going to cover the absence of Cameron Carter-Vickers, who's still the best central defender in the league, but he's not going to be available for the rest of the season. They need two guys in that are ready to hit the ground running at both ends of the park. A central defender on the right-hand side, because poor Anthony Ralston's been hung out to dry. And they're throwing in goals every week. And as Luke McCowan said after the Livingston game, they can't keep outscoring, depending on outscoring teams, as they got found out at Fir Park. So they need to stop the goals before they think about scoring goals.
But you're looking at Johnny Kenny. I mean, no harm to him, but he's not at the level Celtic need to.
It's not. And poor Klich, it's a shame with Klich in that, because he's looked like a goal scorer when he's been on the park and he's been fit. But the problem is, he's just not fit, and you wouldn't hang your hat on them starting 10 games between now and the end of the season.
And you look at that Aberdeen. I know we're being critical of Celtic's performances under Wilfried Nancy, but you look at the Aberdeen game where they did create an unbelievable amount of chances.
Natural goal scorer would have a field.
And also,
the Dundee United
I was going to. That was just about to say that, and that's where
should
Johnny
have been clear by half time and end up losing the game. So you're right.
Every bit is important. And Maeda last season, was banging them in. We spoke about Kyogo. Celtic have always had great strikers, clinical strikers.
I mean, it blew my mind last season how he suddenly turned into a prolific scorer. And it's blown my mind how he's reverted right back to what he was. If he was clean through one-on-one, my goalkeeper now, you certainly wouldn't have put a tenner on him scoring it, would you?
No.
I mean, so he's not the answer through the middle. I think they started him again at Fir Park, didn't they? Through the middle.
But is it not all? Is it not just all linked? Is it not just a combination of the issues that have been at Celtic since the summer? With Brendan Rodgers, you could see it was starting to go like that. It's just a combination of factors.
I think they would love to have Adam Ida right now. I think that's how bad it's got in the centre forward position. They need that. You're right. To answer the question, two glaringly obvious additions they need, and they need to be able to hit the ground running. Right-sided centre half. and a striker that will score goals.
Yeah. And what about Rangers? So where are the positions? Because
you go with that one.
Do you know what I was going to say? I think it's probably similar.
I know,
it's probably
left
similar.
back. On you go. You take us.
No, I was going to say, well, a striker anyway. I mean, Danny Rule said the other week, didn't he? He was basically making a plea: someone step up and be that man, grab that chance to be the number 9.
Yeah.
We spoke about Chermiti. I have to say that in the last couple of games, well, it's all relative. St Mirren, he was much improved, but people will immediately say, "Well, it's only St Mirren, £8 million. What do you expect? You know, it should be, doing a turn against someone like St Mirren." I also think
that's a good St Mirren defence.
Yeah, true, and same with Motherwell. I mean, they did
one goal in 8 games they've conceded.
Yeah, so I think actually to go back to the game at Celtic Park on Saturday, I think that's a big game, for Chermiti, because he is getting a wee bit of confidence. Fans are saying, they can see glimpses, but can he do it in the real big game? That could be a turning point for him and the whole Rangers team if they can go there and get a result.
You've got to expect they're going to get chances as well, unless Nancy tears up his blueprint, which he won't.
Miovski hasn't. He's not really done it, has he?
Well, he was showing glimpses.
Again,
the Kilmarnock game where he scored 2 good strikers goals, good finishes, and then he scored since then in Europe, didn't he? He scored in Europe after that where we overhead. It was coming, and then he picked up an injury and an illness.
I think it was so it's kind of set up. Yeah,
I think Miovski's all-round game. I mean, he's proven he can do it in the Premiership. I just thought there was glimpses that maybe is becoming that Aberdeen Bojan Miovski again, which Rangers need. That would solve the problem.
Yeah, but I do think in January, I think he's going to look elsewhere for a striker. I would think he would go and try.
They're not going to get anywhere near. They're not going to get millions again to spend. Surely, maybe nowhere near what they spent. Obviously,
no, they can't.
But I mean,
but listen, they might ship.
Do you waste on a striker?
Talking about strikers, somebody like Danilo, it's clear he's not going to be that clinical striker that they need. So there's talk that he could go. So it could be, he then frees up a ways, and then they bring someone in. Josh Windass, I know he's not a striker.
Certainly done well down in
but
England. They've discovered that they've emptied that market actually, haven't they, in the summer. None of them have worked.
There's a lot of criticism over the kind of Josh Windass one, but I don't know.
He's a better player now.
Yeah,
I believe. I watched a lot of that Championship down south, and he's definitely a better player now.
Yeah.
He's more physical as well. There's so much more to his game now, but it's still going backwards, isn't it?
It is, but you wouldn't rule anything out this season, Fraser, because it's been an absolutely bonkers season.
Bonkers!
What's been your favourite story of the first half of the campaign? Come on.
St Mirren in the League Cup, Premier Sports Cup win. Oh, come on. Look, there's obviously been a lot of daftness with Old Firm, but the scenes in Paisley after St Mirren won the Premier Sports Cup, that is the beauty of a club outside the big two winning a piece of silverware. We saw it with Aberdeen back in May when the city centre was turned red and white. Absolutely brilliant. The celebrations go on for weeks. Those St Mirren players rightly now are cemented in history. And look, if ever a cup win was deserved at St Mirren's, because they delivered Hearts' first defeat of the season. They got to Hampden and are the only team that has torn Motherwell apart, and they did in the semi-final. They absolutely ripped Motherwell apart, McClinical, and then the way they dealt with Celtic in the final and were clinical again, thoroughly deserving of that win. I mean, Stephen Robinson, but when is a statue getting unveiled? Because what he has delivered for St Mirren, it's a
great story, Fraser, and you're absolutely right. But when I'm saying it's been a bonkers season, I was wanting a Honda Civic, Brendan Rodgers Honda Civic or something daft. So mine.
Oh, Dermot Desmond's statement.
Or Dermot Desmond's statement. So I was trying to think of something that summed up how kind of crazy it's been.
Right.
So mine is when you get a picture and you think, surely that can't be real, and it turns out to be real. Mine has to be the wild water swimming Russell Martin take the Rangers players to Loch Lomond, and that was my reaction. I remember when seeing it, thinking, surely not. You think, what a story if this is true. Just a great story, bit wild. It just summed up the kind of Russell Martin at the time. It was an act of desperation. They ended up getting the win, didn't they? They climbed Conic Hill as well. They got the win that weekend, but it was all just a bit wacky.
Similar then, right? What was maybe even better was it one day after he did get the bullet, he went back with his missus.
So he did. That's
back
right.
I was Fraser.
So he did.
Good.
So,
that was the ultimate
no,
2 fingers up, wasn't it?
I thought that was good. It's so rare, that you get, a story like totally wacky. Forgot about Dermot Desmond when you're right. Honda Civic and Ferraris and all that. That was great.
Write a book on it, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Superb. Right, let's switch sports for a little bit. Luke nuked the fans down at the Ali Pally with his, what's his remark? You pay my wages.
You pay my wages. Keep it coming or something. Yeah, your ticket money.
Did he overstep the mark, or are punters a bit like football fans?
Well, that's what I was going to say, Fraser. I think it is a bit like that. It's like football fans will scream and shout for 90 minutes at players, and then they get a wee bit back, and then it's, how dare you.
I know. Oh, dear.
Like Vaclav Cherny with the water. Well, that's a bit different, right enough.
How did it hurt?
The water bottle. No. But I think if you're a fan and you're down there, you've had 10 pints at the Ali Pally and you're screaming, all sorts at Luke Littler, who, let's not forget, he's still a teenager.
He's 18-year-old. He did well not to go further.
Well, exactly. So I think you've got to accept it. He gives a bit back. You just look at how much he's done. In fact, why were they booing him? That's the other thing I was wondering. Why are they actually booing him?
Would get Swanee on the phone, he'll know.
Okay, Swanee. He's a. Is it
just because it's got? I'm not sure. A young buck that's got a bit of swagger about him. That's probably. Is that what it is? I don't know.
It is, maybe it is.
Look, the Scottish players, some others get mega grief, and the more experienced ones just shrug off and don't bite back. That was a small bite back. Come on, man.
And I think
it's good fun actually. It was a good answer.
Yeah. It was. And also, as I say, I think that is the key. You have to remember he is an 18-year-old boy. He's up there. The other thing is the mic's getting, you've had that through the duration of the game, and then as soon, you're still on the stage. It's still happening there, and someone sticks a mic under. Because when you look at his post-match press conference when he had time to gather his thoughts, he did kind of back down a wee bit, didn't he?
That's what happens on it when you get managers straight after after a defeat.
And you love it, grilling them. You're normally the one.
Don't we all? But to be fair to Littler, he's probably thinking it through the whole that whole match, wasn't he? Every time he hit a treble 20, probably thinking, that's another few. He was in the pocket, and he was ready for it.
He was riled. He was emotional. He's speaking right after the win. I don't think it came across brilliantly, but equally, I don't think we should vilify him for it.
No,
he's young and he'll learn from it.
Made a headline. Good on him.
But as we said earlier, Scotland are going to the World Cup this year.
Beautiful.
Will Steve Clarke make history and get us into the knockout phase? Yeah.
Yes. It all lies in the first game against Haiti and Gav. For guys of a certain generation like me and you, it'll probably bring horrible flashbacks back to Costa Rica.
Right. Well, I'm going to tell
you. One thing you say though, Steve Clarke will have his players prepared to within an inch of their life for whatever Haiti can throw at them. Probably unlike Costa Rica a bit. He'll know everything about Haiti. I think most of their players play in the MLS. I think Aberdeen played against a big striker earlier this season with AEK Athens. So they'll be ready. They'll have absolute no excuses. It won't be easy, but I think we can get off to fire with 3 points. And if we do, that one might be enough to get through the group. And two, we'll give the players the confidence and momentum to go and snatch a point for one other 2 games. There you go.
Good. Well, yeah. I think I totally agree with everything you say. Everyone talked about Morocco being the dark horses. I see the ex-Spain boss this morning say he reckons Morocco could win it.
Oh, good.
They've been unconvincing in AFCON.
No, the game I saw.
No,
I thought they looked very good.
Well, I don't think they've been that great. The managers had to apologise. They are hosts, so a lot of pressure. But anyway, I was going to say there's 2 things in AFCON that are giving me cause for optimism. Actually, one, Morocco's unconvincing performance. We'll agree to disagree.
I've only seen one game.
But the other one is, my son was telling me this yesterday, and as soon as he told me it, I thought, this has got Scotland written all over it because we've been so unlucky in the past, but I think we could be lucky on this occasion. He says, did you see that Sudan qualified for the group stage? They got out of the group stage AFCON without scoring a goal. So I thought, no chance. But in actual fact, they won one game, but it was an own goal.
Right, okay. I'll take that.
So, no, that's
very Scottish, you're right.
That's what that is. So I thought, right, Sudan at AFCON,
that guy would then get his whoever scored that own goal would then get his place in the Hampden Hall of Fame, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Absolute
So
brilliant.
Equatorial Guinea, they beat Equatorial Guinea with and then they lost their other games 3-0 and 2-0. But I'm just thinking, so even if it's an own goal against Haiti and we lose the other 2 against Morocco and Brazil, I think we're going to squeeze through. But
on goals scored, and
Yeah.
then we didn't even score it.
But
Brilliant.
I think to be honest, Scotland at the World Cup, doing something with it, they just want to do something special at the World Cup. I think that would be the sporting wish.
It's mine
for
Is
many
it
in
yours?
2026.
It's mine.
Well, it probably would be, but then I thought we can't both say the same thing, so I'm going to go for Bob McIntyre to win a major in 2026. I think I would love that. I think, to be honest, it just seems to be his destiny that he's going to win a major. Whether it is this year, I don't know. I think it could be, but I don't think anybody's wanted a Scottish individual sportsman to win a major so much since Andy Murray.
Andy Murray.
When we all got behind Andy Murray.
There's not really been anyone since.
No, there's not.
So you're right.
So, but he just seems like such a likeable guy, doesn't he? And not just a likeable guy. He's obviously, he was second in the US Open last year, wasn't he? I think he's had
a couple of
5 top 10 finishes in the majors.
Yeah,
he's been knocking on the door, and you just think if he keeps chipping away, 2026 could be this year. I think it would be great.
Aye, absolutely. And if he could do it in Augusta in time for Scotland to then go and qualify for the World Cup, how good would that be? But so that's a great shout. I'm just going with it, obviously.
Is the US Open not right? I think it's on the doorstep of Boston the week before the World Cup, or something, around about then. So, yeah, I'm sure it is.
Okay. Oh, well, either or.
So it could be round about. That would be brilliant.
And
then he can nip up and watch Scotland lose to Haiti. Sorry, Hammer Haiti.
Oh, look, mine's is
right. So what is it?
Oh, so just obvious. Scotland qualifying. I mean, see, the other Scottish thing was if we did qualify, we'd probably end up going to the quarterfinals or something.
Yeah.
It's 32 qualify, isn't it? 32 teams qualify for it. So
it's almost harder.
No, whenever we say that, we prove that it's not.
Yeah.
And it is a very tough group we've got. Let's not forget that. So it would be brilliant. I think this year, more than anything, is this group of players love nothing more than playing for the country, which is great after 2 or 3 decades and nothing.
Yeah.
The vast majority have said this is now the pinnacle of their career, which it should be.
Yeah.
Succeeding with your club's great, doing well in Europe with your club's great, but this is a World Cup. Nothing should touch this. And I think Steve Clarke has a genuine group of players that believe that, which stands us in good stead. And then the scenes at Tartan Army celebrating across there, celebrating back here. If we can just build on what happened after Denmark, because it brought the whole country together, didn't it?
Yeah.
Imagine what that would do next summer.
Amazing.
Brilliant.
So much to look forward to. So much to look forward to. Of course, there's plenty to happen before we even get to the World Cup with this Premiership title race and so much more. So we'll have loads to discuss every Friday on Game On. Fraser, thanks for joining us today. You can catch us on all the usual socials on YouTube, Spotify, Facebook, and Apple Podcasts. We'll be back again next week. So thanks for listening, and Happy New Year to everyone again.